Good morning, good morning. If you are new here, then welcome on in, and if you are not, welcome back. This weekend, we're going to basically have a bit of a bookish weekend. Started my morning off by reading. I've just finished reading Bound. My current plans are basically that I need to declutter my bookshelf and I also need to go and find a new book. And straight after the gym today, I'm going to go and check in my local Sainsbury's, which is quite a big Sainsbury's, and it usually has a book aisle, so I'm hoping and praying, but I have a feeling it's probably only going to be in like Waterstones and WH Smith and those kind of like bigger bookstores, and then we will start on this monstrosity of a bookshelf. But I will check back in later and we will see if I've had any success. So hope for me, pray for me, cross those fingers, cross the toes. So we're back from the shops, and to say that it was an unsuccessful trip would be very true, quite frankly. I went to my local big supermarket and they usually have like an aisle of books near the cards and stuff, and then I went in there today and they'd got rid of the whole aisle and there's no longer any books. So that's that. I was going to go like somewhere else to try and find the book that I want. Have I even spoken about what book I want? Basically, I recently read, is it Babel or Babel? I'm not really sure, but I genuinely think it's one of my favourite books I have ever read. I also currently have Yellow Face, which is by the same author, over there. A couple of vlogs ago, I got it in a charity shop for £2, hardback. So I was like, yes, thank you, please, in my basket. And I know that recently the same author has released a book called, I don't know if it's Katabasis or Katabasis. That book is the book I was looking for today, and unfortunately obviously couldn't find it, but I think I might try again tomorrow because I've essentially roped my friend into coming to Waterstones with me and doing a bit of a trip. So hopefully, still in this vlog, we will find that book. But today we're going to move on because we have to tackle, not just me, you're doing it with me, because God help me, we need to tackle this bookshelf. That's what we need to tackle. I would love to sit here and say I'm one of those like real aesthetic bookshelf girlies, but to be quite honest, this has become a bit of a dumping ground. Basically, when I just don't know where something goes in my room, because I have a pretty small room with little to no storage, it goes on the bookshelf. Half of that isn't even books, and then somewhere up the top here is games, basically Assassin's Creed, mixed in with books too. What we are going to do is take it all down, go through it, give the bookshelf a bit of a clean, see what I want to unhaul, see what I want to keep. Oh god, I also have my uni books. I also have all my university textbooks, my Greek text. God help me. Yeah, I think we'll get to work. What I might do is just like take all the stuff down, and then maybe what we'll do is get cozy on the bed and go through what I've got. Little Assassin's Creed. Packaging that my new Kindle insert came in the other day. I got a little autumnal Kindle insert. Isn't she cute? She's adorable. And then we have a shit ton of Assassin's Creed Xbox games. Because if you didn't know anything about me, I'm a reader, but I'm also a big gamer. Bottom shelf is prime dumpage because it's easy access. Sunglasses that I wore for with a spider web on them, that I wore for a 70s party about 2 years ago. I don't think personally that I could rock them. What do we think? I don't think they're like something that would suit me on an everyday basis, but just know that when I went to the 70s party, I rocked them. a polar bear marshmallow from about 2 years ago. Whether this is still in date and edible, who knows. This is shit dumping area. We have a little crocheted plant that my cousin crocheted for me. She has a little crochet business. Count how many times I say crochet in one sentence. Relatively normal for me. I use these on stream. The girlies love these on stream. This is one of my prized possessions, actually. These were knitted by one of my closest friends that I met through streaming. She's from the Netherlands. She's called London. Absolute sweetheart. Love her to pieces. She's the most creative genius I know. And she made me these lovely Zelda-inspired mitten glove thingies. But aren't they so cute? I love her dearly. These go on show. I'm going to Iceland in November and I was thinking about wearing these because obviously they'll keep me real warm. Part of me likes them too much to actually use them. In Trash Central here. My two TwitchCon lanyards. This was first year at Rotterdam. Oh, my little navvy. And then this was last year at Rotterdam, I believe. Yeah. Which I don't think I have any pins because I got a key ring this year and it's on my mic. And that's my shelves cleared. What we're going to do is we're going to go through the books. Yeah, hopefully. Put some of them back up. Hopefully. Cleaned the bookshelves. Kind of like cleared out all the ornaments and stuff away from the books. So hopefully everything here should just be books from now on. So we're going to go through everything. We're going to choose whether I want it or whether I'm unhauling it. I don't know if there's like any order to do this. I might just start grabbing. I might just grab. First up we have Stone Blind. I really like this book. I remember really liking this book. From what I remember about this book, it's a Greek retelling. I think it tells it from different gods' perspectives. Like every different chapter I feel like it's from different people's perspectives. And I love Greek retelling. It's one of my favourite genres of books. Very good book, and I will be keeping this. Let's go for Loki. Now, one thing about me, you might be able to tell if you've seen my tattoos, I love Marvel. I have Loki's helm tattooed here. I do love Loki. I remember getting this at the book outlet store 66 Books in Hemel Hempstead, but I haven't read it. I haven't read it, so I don't know how it is. I feel like this is one of those books that I've kept there as like an easy read, and you might think like, that's a big book, that's not an easy read. It's 400 pages, but it's an easy read in the sense of like, I probably know what's going to happen, or it's just going to be like a fun, I'm not going to get too into it read. It's a light-hearted read, So I'm going to keep that. We've got another Greek retelling and that is Circe. Again, I think this is one of my favourite books. The font is absolutely tiny. Love this book. This is possibly one of my favourite. But this is about the goddess Circe and her kind of interactions with Odysseus. So anyone that's read the Odyssey will kind of know she plays a part in that story. We'll be keeping. Now, this is called Luna Wolf Moon. This is also another book that I got from 66 Books outlet store. Like, it feels like a very fantasy sci-fi. And I was going to write it off. But now that I've read that, I'm like, but wait. So I was going to get rid of this, but maybe I'll keep it. Next up, we have The Discomfort Zone, which I remember one of my bosses getting me at a previous job. It's pretty much a self-help book, which I'm not a big fan of. They don't work for me. I don't get that much from them. It's very anecdotal. I don't enjoy self-help books generally, but I really didn't enjoy this one. So I will be unhauling this. Next up, we have The Snow Song, which I read 6 months ago now, and I remember picking it up and being like, oh, I probably won't like this. But actually, it had me hooked. It's about a girl called Edith who lives in a village with, I think her father's an alcoholic. I won't give too much away just in case people do want to read this book, but I really enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it. I really thought like I would probably DNF it when I picked it up. I was like, There's a lot of like ideas of like what women shouldn't do, a lot of gender role talk, kind of like expectations that come with that. However, in saying that, when I try and think about like what books I want to keep, what books I want to show, this doesn't come to mind. Like, it was a good book, it had its moment, but I think I will be unhauling this. I would like someone else to read this book rather than it just like gathering dust on my bookshelf. This one I'm going to talk through really quickly because I think I kind of spoke about it earlier on with another book that I'm unhauling. But it's The Psychology of Money. I know it's a very like well-loved self-help financial book. I've read parts of this. I can't get into it. I'm not like a maths girl. Generally speaking, I'm not a maths girl. Therefore, like reading all of this about something I'm not interested in. So I am going to unhaul this. Next, we have The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Now, this is going to be a controversial one. So I'm so sorry if you love this book. You might want to just plug your ears quickly. But this is possibly the first fictional book that I have DNF'd in my life. I read this a few years ago now. I want to say about 3 years ago, because I was told it was one of the best books ever. So I was like, of course, I'm going to have to read it. I borrowed it off of a friend that I used to work with. I still haven't given it back, and I'm so sorry. I really just didn't get on with it. I DNF'd it. I didn't enjoy it at all. About a year later, I read The Goldfinch, which was also by Donna Tartt, and I really liked this. I found it hard to get into, as I did this one, and obviously it's also way chunkier. And I've been thinking, maybe I should give this one another chance. I was going to unhaul it, but part of me saying, give it another chance. If you really don't like it this time, then you can be done with it. The amount of like rave reviews that this book gets, I feel like I'd be doing it a disservice if I didn't try again. Because my reading taste has changed. Yes, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep it and I'm going to try again. Okay, next we have Iron... Do you know what? Let's do Iron Flame and Fourth Wing together, because it doesn't make sense to talk about one without the other, does it? Which were good books. I'm not going to sit here and say they're not good books. I'm not a massively critical reader. If I enjoy something, it takes me out of this world and makes me feel a sense of escapism, I'm happy. If I can feel some kind of emotions when things happen to them, then I can't really complain. Like, I'm very happy with what some people might consider badly written books, because if it gets me out of this world, I'm a happy girl. Then I think I also have Onyx Storm, which was the third one of this, on my Kindle. So I didn't think about that too hard, about how annoying that would be. So yeah, they will be staying. And I love a dragon. Not gonna lie, I'm a dragon girly. So they will be staying. Next we have the same book, which I'm pretty sure I got from... One of them I got from 66 Books, but not Dune, the first book. Somehow I've managed to pick up 2 copies of the 4th Dune book. I've never read the first one. So I don't know what I'm doing with 2 copies of the 4th one. Part of me saying, like, do I unhaul both of them? Because, like, what if I don't even like the first one? Why would I keep... I'm going to unhaul both of them. I'm going to be ruthless. I'm going to unhaul both of these books because, again, I've had controversial opinions about these. A lot of people have said it's just, like, 4 books of, like, descriptions of sand. That doesn't fill me with hope. So I'm going to unhaul both of them. I will one day read the first book, and if I like them, then I can get the books after that. But as of right now, Richard Osman's The Thursday Murder Club, I know is also a really well-loved book. I like this. It took me a while to get into it because it felt like it was written for possibly the generation above me. It's very like British older banter, I would say, but I enjoyed it. It's probably my first mystery. I don't normally read things like that, but I think because there was like quite a lot of comedy in it and quite a lot of like humorous descriptions, I enjoyed. So I'm going to ignore how badly looked after this book is, but I will be keeping this for now. Will I? I probably will. No, I probably will unhaul this one and possibly give it back to my friend if that's who it was. But I will be reading the others. I know there's others in this series, and I did enjoy this, so I will be reading them. But yeah, I don't think I want to take it with me / have it on my bookshelf, so I'm going to unhaul this. This is one of my favourite books I've ever read. It's a short book. It's by Mary Beard, who is a wonderful female classicist, and this is called Woman and Power. But it basically talks about the gender agenda through history and like how history has treated powerful women. We'll never get rid of this. So she's staying. Sapiens, a brief history of humankind. And for someone that's like an absolute history buff like me, would love this. But I remember being an archaeologist at the time, and the thought of reading about the job that I was doing for 8 hours of my life was an absolute no-no, so I couldn't read this book. However, I have been out of archaeology for a couple of years now, and I work in marketing and social media. So now that I don't have such a life that's rooted in talking about the history and thinking about history of humans, I think I'll actually enjoy this. So whenever I feel like I'm in a history mood, this will be a good book to read. So I am keeping this book. I mean, I feel like anyone that recognises these fluorescent books will know exactly what these are. These are the Akatar books. However, I have read them all, just to state. I've read pretty much all of the Massverse books, including Crescent City and Throne of Glass. I remember that, like, the supermarket Tesco was doing, like, a 3 for 2 one time, and I think I just picked up 3 randomly and was like, yeah, that will do, I'll get the others at another time. I originally read them on my friend's Kindle account, so I didn't even read them in paper form originally. However, what I will say, as much as people either love or hate ACOTAR, this series is what got me back into reading, because I immediately remembered how much I loved fantasy worlds, fantasy books. Yeah, I mean, I hate that they're fluorescent. I'm not gonna lie to you, I really hate that this is the covers. But it's what it is. But they're gonna stay. I actually did a cosplay of Reese a couple of years ago. No, not a couple of years ago, last year for Halloween. I really enjoyed it. One thing I will say is that I wish that every fantasy book that I read from this point on wouldn't have like a main male character that looks exactly like Reese's. Like sometimes we could look different, you know. We don't all have to have dark hair and lilac eyes. Next up, we have Stephen Fry Heroes. I like Stephen Fry book, good like Greek retelling. This one's about Jason and the Argonauts. And similarly, we have Psyche and Eros. Another Greek retelling, and this is obviously about the 2 gods. It's basically a tragic love story, as most things are in Greek mythology, but would highly recommend. Love this book. We'll be keeping. I don't know if I said this, but we'll be keeping this one too. And then we have Sally Rooney, Conversation with Friends. I got given this by my nan for my birthday last year. I haven't read it yet, but she loves this book. Her and my cousin spoke endlessly about this book at one of our family dinners. I'm yet to start it, I'm sorry, nan. But I will do, because I've heard such good things. I guess it's out of my typical genre, which would be like fantasy. But if it's a good book, it's a good book. So I'm going to read it at some point, just haven't read it yet. Get on to even more textbooks and other things. So we've got the Odyssey. Classic. However, I don't think I want it anymore. I've had to read it many times for my studies. Trauma is all I'm going to say. So I will be unhauling this. We then have a book called Greek and Roman Slavery, which was a lot to do with my dissertation. We'll be unhauling this. We have Procopius, again, another textbook. Unhauling. I'm being brutal, but I have no reason for these texts anymore. I must be getting to the end of like my text, surely. I have Herodotus Histories. Now, I will be keeping this one. I love Herodotus. Herodotus is so-called the father of history. I love history, and while obviously some of the things he's written are incredibly wild based on the time that he's in, I like this. I read this a lot. I had to reference this a lot in my dissertation. But Herodotus kind of has like a little special place in my heart as a figure in history. So I will be keeping this one, funnily enough. Next we have, I'm going to hold them all up together because they are the last books. The entirety of the Vampire Diaries books. I even have Stefan's Diaries. That's how you know you're a diehard fan. From what I remember about these, I read them before I watched the show, and I remember being like, why are these so different? Because they do follow it like a very different storyline. I've been watching everyone reread The Hunger Games recently, and it did make me think, oh, what were my like favourite books when I was a teenager? And The Vampire Diaries is one of them. So I think I'm going to give myself the task of reading these. However, in saying that, they're ugly because they're like the Netflix covers. That's the only thing that stresses me out. It's like, why do they look like that? I didn't think I had the Netflix ones. Oh, I don't know. I think I'm going to unhaul them. I feel like it's unnecessary. I'm going to unhaul them. I don't know if I agree with that decision, but I am going to unhaul them. If anyone's worried about where these will be going, a lot of these will be going to charity shops. They'll go to friends that I know want these books. I would leave the books outside my house, but I don't really feel like I live in a neighbourhood where people do that or will like take care of the books. I feel like they'll just get trashed, unfortunately. So wait, I think I've been very brutal. I'm proud of myself because I'm usually a hoarder. I would actually like to read today. This is meant to be a bookish vlog. I would love to read. I've only read, obviously, at the gym and a little bit when I woke up this morning. So I need to go get some lunch. I think I'm going to go get a nice soup and bread for lunch, a cup of tea, and then I think I'm going to read for a little bit. I think that sounds like a wonderful idea. Hello, so it's the next morning now. Basically, last night I was exhausted. I was exhausted from doing that bookshelf out. There was something about taking all the books down, cleaning. I also put all the books back up again, and it just took it out of me. It took it completely out of me. So I basically just spent the evening reading. So I actually read some theories last night on Babel, whichever one we're calling it, about the ending of the book. I just thought I'd go and like reread the last few chapters again just to like relive it, and it made me really sad again. I wanted to start the new book, but obviously I didn't find it yesterday, so I started Enchantra, I think it's called, by Kaylee Smith. I'm about to go and pick up my friend really quickly, and we're about to go and drive to a city centre near us so we can go to a Waterstones and actually find Katabasis. I'm going to call it Katabasis because I can't keep saying the different words, it's stressing me out. So yeah, we're going to hopefully go and find that. We'll probably get some food as well. And then I'll check back in with you. Hopefully we're successful. Hi, I am back from our little bookshop rendezvous. I showed you very little of today just because there wasn't that much different from yesterday, I'll be honest. I just woke up, read a little bit more, and of course, we got the book. It's fucking beautiful, is what I will say. One thing that I have a little critique, and it's nothing against the book, it's that I really don't like I don't like reading hardback books. I find them really awkward to read. When I read, I tend to do like long sit-down sessions of like 2 hours at least, and trying to find a position that is like comfortable to hold a hardback and like hold it in my wrists. Whereas with a paperback, it's like less weight to hold. I would definitely prefer a paperback, but it's fine. It's a beautiful cover. The dust cover is stunning. I love gold, so this is just like right up my street. To the best of my ability, I've tried to keep any spoilers away from what this book is even about because I didn't want to know. I really didn't want to know. I want to come in completely blind and just know that I liked her other book. In the Waterstones near me, they had £3 off, so this was actually £19, which isn't the worst. I think my plans for the rest of today, because it's now like late afternoon, is basically just to chill and start that book. So I'm going to get into some comfy clothes, get myself a cup of tea, and start some reading. This will probably be it for me. You probably won't hear from me again, which you might be thankful of because it's been a very chatty vlog today. I am a bit of a yapper and I can only apologise for that, but if you do enjoy my yapping, please do like this video and please do subscribe. I will always be here to yap. I'm going to chill out and start reading my book, so I hope everyone has a lovely rest of their day, evening, whatever time it is for you, and I hope to see you next time.